now. Hi. So,
Hello.
it's Thursday.
Despite my best efforts.
I'm not entirely sure what that means, but I'm here. And so is
Oh,
Wade.
I know what it means. It means that it's Alpha with Thursday.
Mm-hmm. And Dee's here too.
Our favorite guest. Hello, Dee Dee.
Unfortunately.
Uh, I was kind of hoping for a long, drawn-out anti-alpha wit speech, but I'll settle for that.
No, I don't. I ain't got one of those today.
Good
Next
enough.
time.
Our current administration has robbed you of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
this was a rough couple of days for news.
yeah, that's
It's
fair
been a
enough.
rough year for news. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
Yeah.
I'm going to survive.
but I do have a message directed at that particular group of people this evening.
You need to shut the fuck up!
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
for sure.
yeah,
And that's all I got to
yep,
say about that.
no notes.
And that's the bottom line, because Alpha said so. Anyway. So, we're back in Greyhaven tonight. Last we left off, we had just found this catacomb through the fountain. And here's our stats up to this point. You'll notice that the experience number is considerably higher than it was at the end of last time. That's because I went from the beginning, ran through and optimized the order of scrolls and fights and everything else, just to get the highest number of points I could possibly pull off.
Damn,
We
okay.
And you ground them all up in a mortar and pestle and you snorted them.
Mm-hmm. So, 42 HP. Our main stats are unchanged. I didn't find anything else there. Concentration is still 190, which is effectively 19 spell points. Still have our spear, still have our scale mail, and that's where we continue from. So, here we are in this windy little multi-branch tunnel. If there's anything anywhere, I suspect it would be in the deep dark corners.
Yeah, I suppose. You mean just for random checks?
Right. So I'm not going full-blown pixel hunting, but every couple steps I will try it just to see. Through the peepholes, you see a huge room even. In the center of the room is a large pulsing rock. Now, I sent notes about this sometime between last session and now, but for those of you who are listening to this pile of drivel we do almost every week, the rings of teleportation are the only way in there, and it generates a zombie that gets us 1900 points if we manage to beat it. Now we have to warp back in every single time with a different ring to get that to occur again. You can't just beat one up, paste to regain MP, cast heal to regain HP, lather, rinse, repeat. It doesn't allow that. So yeah, that's a thing. Now what's this big hole? A tunnel has been cut straight down through the rock here. There is a serviceable rope ladder hanging down into the darkness. Yeah, we're climbing down. You descend into the darkness and reach the bottom after about 20 feet of climbing. The tunnel continues east. You feel your way along the passage, and after what seems like an eternity, you see light. You find another rope ladder and climb up into the dim light. You find yourself in a damp, natural cavern. It appears the only light comes from the glowing moss on the walls, and the only exit is a small hole in the east wall. The hole is only a foot in diameter. There's no possible way for you to fit through it. One peculiar thing is the footprints beginning just on the side of the hole and leading away from it. So there are tracks through this little peephole.
Hate that.
Somebody's been down here. Who, I wonder who? Descend into the darkness and once again grope your way through the dark tunnel. Ooh. Finally, you reach the dimly lit caverns in the school. So there's something else.
The dark cavern. It's moist.
Yours specifically, or
No,
no? Yeah,
no.
you offer dry holes. You quickly
Offer no holes.
speaking of dry holes, you quickly pass back through the hole and wade across to the front of the fountain. All right.
So, is this like significant in an evidence way that um somebody would have been able to use that particular passage to get from somewhere important to another?
I mean, it's possible. All we know for sure is there are footprints and somebody's been down here. Whether or not they're connected to the murder has not yet been indicated.
So they talked about black mud.
Yeah.
What color's the dirt here? The only clue I can remember is that one person's robe had black mud, but the victim was found covered in red mud.
Yeah. There's one other place I didn't check that I'm going to after this. First, we didn't check the guest houses here. This small house must be used for guests at the school. It seems equipped for little more than spending one night. This wooden building is in good shape considering it must be as old as the school itself, which is at least 200 years.
It must be.
So in this room... Oh, hello. There is a corpse lying on this bed. You assume this is Errol and that there has been some sort of preservation spell on the body, since it has been 2 days since his death and he looks like he's only sleeping. You inspect the body, noting the gaping hole in his back, which was apparently the cause of death. There's nothing else unusual about the body. Lying on the headboard...
That's his butthole.
We found our moist hole, have we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lying on the headboard of the bed is a bloody dagger. There are a few bizarre runes inscribed on the blade. They look...
Do we get to...
They look almost arcane. I'm actually going to take a picture of that real quick.
Your stream might be frozen. What are you looking at?
I'm looking at
Oh, yeah, look at that.
this.
I didn't even remember that window.
Yeah. So, let me do the dropping of this. Because that might be important later. Okay. We are rolling over here. Yes, we are. Good. And... nothing to search here. What about this room? An empty shelf. Nothing of interest. So nobody's actually staying in that house. What about this house? Probably not, right? A dusty old cot. And another. Okay, so we found the body and something resembling a potential clue. Okay. With that, back to... We've already been here. Back to one piece of business at hand here. Remember that dragon we took out up here, and it gave us a note after materializing and dematerializing?
Yes.
Well, the note reads, mid of empty row. Now my first presumption of that is being that there are several rows in the library. That might be a decent place to hide something. An empty row, you say? How about the only spot that has books facing not toward it, but away from it? Mid of empty row? Ah. You reach up and slide your hand across the top of the bookshelf. Apart from the dusk, okay, you find a slip of paper with the number 182 on it. Now, who remembers where a 3-digit number was indicated before?
Not me.
I ain't remember shit.
Well, that was over here on this teeny weeny little lockbox. 10 buttons labeled 1 through 9. Do you suppose? Don't blink or you might miss it. You enter the number and then you hear a small click from inside the chest.
Oh, that's right. We tried some silly numbers.
Do you get it though? Because don't blink. Blink 182. Yeah, okay.
Oh, no, I sure didn't.
Yeah, that flew over my fucking head.
I was waiting for somebody to flip the pen soundboard.
No, you got away with
Ooh,
it.
Fancy stuff's here. So, the first things that draw my attention are the rings of teleportation. Because that's free XP, basically. And we already...
Why are they free XP?
I will demonstrate that to lock in the explanation I gave and the pictures I sent before. We decided the spear was better than the scimitar, right?
I guess so.
Yeah, I do seem to remember that, so here's what I'm going to do. And the Orb of Consuming is a very, very useful combat item. The silver coins, I suspect, are necessary for plot, and I think that's because of the bartender. Because remember, the bartender said he would only service us if we got money. And there's money. But first, the only use of the Ring of Teleportation is to take you right here. You place the silver band on your finger. Suddenly you feel a hard wrenching and the room fades to black. When your vision clears, you find yourself lying on your back. Giggity. You quickly get up and brush yourself off. So we're here.
Well, that's useful.
If you search the statue, shall we begin? There's a blue flash to your left. You look and find yourself facing a zombie. It staggers forward to attack.
Oh.
I should tell you there were 3 more spells to pick up, which I've already grabbed. There's a magic missile, which is a faster, sleeker, more accurate version of the fireball. Though whether it's more powerful, I cannot vouch for. A kill spell for which you need the true name of the target in order to have it work. And a restore health spell which does heal for all HP instead of just 1. Now the concentration used for each of these spells goes starting from heal 10, 20, 50, 40, 20, 30, 140, 90. 7 of the 8 are the same as in the first game. The only different one is kill, which replaces blind, which simply deals a sharp drop to the opponent's accuracy. And hell, I'm just going to kill the thing. Fireball. Oh yeah, he has that glare move, which takes away all concentration. I should be able to get it again by doing this. Shred several vital organs versus your skull is crushed. 2 big moves.
Both pretty bad.
Yeah. Armor. Yeah, this. The creature glares at you. You find it difficult to gather your thoughts. You get hit with that, you lose all concentration immediately, which takes away your spell casting. But that's okay because we're pretty strong. There's the unspeakable crit. Minor wound. Another vital organ. Several more vital organs. Graze. Massive wound. Solid blow. Boy, this thing is strong. Graze, cut deep. Graze, we take an unspeakable crit. Deep cut. Graze, another
What's our
unspeakable.
health at?
We're at 12 now.
Oh,
We got
good.
it. And I just realized this zombie's a different color. It was yellow instead of gray. And we gained 2020. Now,
Well,
If you
for
try-
me it is, then.
If you try and do this again, please return to your studies until you are ready for your next encounter. So it makes you leave the room and invoke another ring before you can do it again. But the flavor text. This huge room is lit by dozens of small red flares which lie in small indentations in the granite floor. The flares give the room a seemingly evil glow, which pulses to the same beat as the huge oblong statue which rests at the center of this domed chamber. The stone is a dull green and glows with a faint inner light.
Hmm.
Now here's what happens if you
Not
try
something
to...
stone is known to do.
If you try and go inside the normal way, it tells you you're not eligible to enter this room, and you get pushed down the hall like so.
Is it, like, supposedly reserved for those
More
who
advanced,
have reached a certain level?
more advanced apprentices,
Right.
which by the mechanics of this game, we will never get in naturally.
Hopefully not.
I want to use up that other ring, so first thing I'm going to do, using my special little speed trick here, is get concentration up to 90 so I can use max heal. 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Cast 9. And look at all that health brought back.
Oof.
Now I need to
So a
raise...
lot of pacing back and forth, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Do you have any theories thus far as to anything about the murderer based off those notes?
Well, I'm certainly going to look again.
I would first direct your attention to House 5. There's something in there that indicates a particular species of evil creature, I think.
Where
Why?
did we...
While you're doing that, I'm going to work this other ring of teleportation. A zombie warrior. Let's get in our fire while we can. Good. I don't want it to gaze until I'm all out of power. Magic missile. We have gotten 4 hits between those fireballs and that magic spear. And now we kick its ass. Oh, we lost.
Wow, Discord really hates displaying this text file. I have no choice but to download it and open it, which is stupid.
Hateful.
House 5. Occupant seems to be an advanced apprentice. A book written by Jorah, found in House 6, makes Jorah the possible occupant. Stacks of papers in an unfamiliar language. Years of notes containing complex spell formulas. All signs of light, except for a single candle, are heavily shuttered off.
What do you make of the apparent penchant for darkness?
I mean, there's nothing else that goes with that currently introduced, as far as I can tell.
I mean, granted, I'm just postulating here, but I'm thinking of creatures that would not like light. First one that comes to mind is a vampire.
Yes,
Could one
this
of
is
the
true.
Could one of the apprentices possibly be a vampire?
Wasn't
Probably.
me.
Does anything else suggest it?
Let me read my notes again real fast here.
It wasn't me.
Trying to see if
Somebody
there's
was after a
anything-
magic enhancing item.
Trying to see if there's anything here that would indicate that someone just doesn't go out during the day.
Talking about things happening at night. Wait, are you willing to answer a question concerning your physical house right now?
Probably?
Does that hallway between the bedrooms ever, like, wake you up at night if someone's moving to the bathroom or something?
No. I often sleep with earplugs.
Oh, that would do it.
I am more likely, like, yes, it's not a very quiet floor.
It's an extremely loud floor, and I'm notorious for being a kind of a silent mover.
What would normally wake me up is like Rissa getting out of bed, or it's the bathroom door rubs against the floor in certain spots, especially at this time of the year when the humidity is rising. That noise will sometimes wake me up because it happens when you both open and close the door. Someday I should lay a sheet of sandpaper down and open and close the door a bunch of times and sand it off.
I have nothing else to indicate my theory besides the absolute need for darkness.
I want to say you're absolutely grasping at straws, but your adventure game instincts are so unbelievably strong that it's probably going to end up being a vampire.
I'm also pretty convinced that that is indeed Jorah.
Were there bite wounds?
No.
Not that were
dagger.
indicated. Dagger wound is the thing that was mentioned.
Why would the vampire just stab the man and just go on? I mean...
Well, if I'm right, he would have been stabbed posthumously to make it look like that's what killed him. I'm also in House 5, and this is more grasping, admittedly, but there were stacks of papers in the unfamiliar language, which I wonder if those arcane symbols match that language. And the years of notes with complex spell formulas indicate that the guy's advanced. And there's a book written by Jorah found in Alicia's house, House 6, along with 3 written by Basnir, the professor. So, could be he's advanced enough to have written a book, possibly with Basnir's help. I don't know. There's
that doesn't make him a vampire.
No, it doesn't. But I'm wondering if there's one more piece out there.
There probably is. You're probably right. It's going to be infuriating.
I would hope so.
In the meantime...
Because we're kind of really grasping here.
Alright. I have one other thing I can do if I don't beat this thing on this attempt. Okay. So, the ivory horns.
Here, Wit, have a really stupid meme.
There's another thing about the ivory horns. You can use them instead of equip them as a weapon. You read the inscription on the horn and it begins to emit a dull red glow. A moment later, the horn vanishes. Now, here's what that...
You talked about this.
Yeah.
But we didn't get to see it.
Right.
That is incredibly stupid. But it did make me snort.
So here's how that looks now. Do this in combat. And for 5 turns, the creature is confused and does not attack. So I'm just going to keep lighting them up. I'm too low on magic to keep doing that, so now I'm going to start beating him up while he's still screwed up. Now he'll begin to attack, and he's way, way behind. Yeah, keep glaring, keep glaring. Can't do nothing else anyway, just keep doing that so you don't risk hitting me. Ha! 2380 for the zombie warrior. And it gets me a level up, hooray. Alright, actually let's lose the scimitar. I was hoping not to have to use the Orb of Consuming, and I didn't. Yay. Now then, about those silver coins. And I got everything else here, right? Yeah, everything else there. Yeah, good there. Silver coins. This mirror is still a point of interest, but I have absolutely no idea how to use it yet. We have money. We have a bartender who indicated he likes money. So, figure 1 + 1 = 2. Let's go out here.
I'm pretty sure most bartenders love money.
Hmm.
I mean, fair. But I know for a fact that this bartender loves money because he said it. So, before we go there,
Well, I guess it's good to have confirmation.
there's this little red spot I never checked. A small rowboat rests against the grassy shore. In the boat, you see a few bits of dry red mud. Red mud. Looking up from the boat, you notice a dark figure moving along the side of the north house at the end of the street. The figure sees you looking at him and runs towards you. You rise to greet the man, and then you see he is drawing a weapon. You prepare to fight.
Uh-oh.
Kill.
You poor, poor son of a bitch. Goodbye.
You don't
Yeah.
know who we are.
Oh, it
But at
missed.
least one of the voices in this head says to kill you.
A dagger. How cute. Yeah, 160 experience points. He's not even worth our trouble. How sad would that have been if we got a level up off that?
I mean,
But we didn't.
Listen, I just played RimWorld yesterday, and I have to think about the human resources.
Is that what I want? The Golden Griffin? Yes, it is. Can I kill the troll again for 15 more points? No, I guess not. Alright, well. Hello, Mr. Barman. You signal the barkeep and he slowly swaggers over. Anyone want to read for the bartender?
well, I see we have some silver. Here's a mug of the finest ale in the realm. Sorry.
A fair sight prettier than most bartenders I've seen. You take a sip of the brew and manage to swallow the substance without gagging too noticeably.
You wizards are a strange lot. Just 2 nights ago, I saw one of you digging up a grave. Must have been looking for bones, since it was one of the oldest graves there.
Graves. A graveyard.
Brave.
Will he say anything else to me? You signal the barkeep and he slowly swaggers over.
Here, have some more ale. Your last silver piece will cover it.
You finish your drink and feel a bit tipsy. Now, there was a bar scene kind of similar to this in the first game, where if you had enough drinks, you'd wind up drunk, and if you had enough drinks, you'd wind up poisoned. I'm going to save and see if we can ride that train again.
If you like.
You quaff the ale and realize you can't hold your alcohol like you used to. Yeah, takes a couple to get us there, huh?
Condition drunk.
You down the mug
Here, have
and
some
you
more
find
ale. Your last silver piece will cover it.
Yeah, same line. You down the mug and you find yourself quite drunk. Okay. Once again, you drink the
Here, have some more
beverage.
ale. Your last silver piece will cover it.
You really like that line, huh? Once again, you drink the beverage and find it even more delicious than the last time. Your speech is slurred as you thank the barkeep for his fine ale. You spill most of the ale on yourself as you drink it. The room spins wildly before your eyes. You finish half of the drink and then barf on the stool to your right. You finish a quarter of the drink and then barf on your lap. You pass out without even touching your drink.
Wait, what? I thought we touched the drink.
We've had quite a number of them at this point, and apparently that's the end of the ride, and we don't get poisoned.
But this is like the Space Station 13 experience.
Alright, well, now I can demonstrate what happens if you get drunk. In combat, it just screws you up. It doesn't have any visual appeal. But if you pace enough whilst drunk, something will happen. You feel better.
Oh, well.
Do that while poisoned and your health will keep sapping and sapping and sapping. I threw a screenshot in there during the off time that shows what happens if you do it at 1 HP. You just collapse with a little flavor text and keep going on your merry little way. How much HP am I down? Enough.
I have a minor Space Station 13 story.
We got a few minutes before we get to the next place. Go for it.
About my most infamous moment at Space Station 13 is when I decided to be a boring engineer. And the job I ended up taking up was fixing the fucking holes in the station that kept happening because of some fights that kept happening between the trader and the security. Or, I guess traders. I think there was more than one of them. So basically I spent most of the time in a fucking vacuum suit fixing holes leading into space. And then the other half of the time I was just maintaining the singularity generator in the space station. Until the rest of the crew was dead.
Nice.
And the traders came for me, and I was like, fuck it. I set the damn singularity loose on them.
Good
Oh my
job.
god, okay.
Good job. Oh, I took
I
out...
was like, I'm taking you with me. And I let loose the black hole that consumed them in the space station.
That's very funny.
Very nice. Proud of you. I did also take out the wisps over here and the troll that was across the bridge. Both of them absolutely meaningless once I got all my points in order. Now what have we got on this side of the bridge? You knock. A moment later you hear a voice from beyond the door.
Go away! We've lost 4 already, and we don't want to take chances on losing another, even in daylight. You people might even be the cause of this whole thing. Now leave. Oh, shit, he's right.
Even in daylight.
I can't stand you.
So that ties us into the distress signal that was found in House 6. Consult notes. Request from the nearby island of Makos found here regarding a distress call to locate missing people. 4 already, and we don't want to take chances on losing another, even in daylight.
I can't stand you.
Still not 100% conclusive. I still need something hard. And I don't mean my dick. And another abandoned house like the ones on the west side. What are these? Just walls? Okay. Now what's this building? A huge iron portcullis prevents you from reaching the doors beyond. You can see that much of this ancient castle now lies in ruins and has not been used in centuries. 2 huge pillars lie across the field behind you, and a third appears quite unsteady. Unsteady, eh? Is there a breakpoint somewhere among this? Or are you the unsteady pillar? If you are, there's nothing I can do about you. So, let's just move on. This building appears as old as the nearby ruins. The front doors have fallen off their hinges, and in looking inside, you find the place deserted. Decades of filth and debris has built up inside, and it appears that everything of any worth has been removed.
Alright.
Well, that for sure is our graveyard. And I would say this is a church. The Greyhaven Church, okay. You enter the church, and an elderly priest greets you at the door. He says,
There it is. We have little to offer you, but what we have is yours. I think we have a little healing water left. Would you like some?
Just to see if this is what I think it is, and it's probably just going to give us one of those little vials. Yeah.
Ta-da!
Mm-hmm. You offer us anything else? Oh, is this our perpetual nuclear option healing cave?
We have little to offer you. We have little to offer you.
Yep. Well, what the fuck? Let's do that. Right. Now then, about this graveyard. When only a few feet into the cemetery, strange shapes begin to rise from the ground. These apparitions quickly grip with their icy cold hands and drag you from the graveyard. So we can't get in. Any ideas?
No. I try not to, if I can help it.
I have one.
My head is empty.
Feel better from what? We were normal. That's weird. Yeah, whatever. My one idea is the library. That one know-it-all kid who was in there. And remember that prompt that said, is there somewhere we'd like to go?
Yes?
Maybe he knows something. He couldn't tell us how to go to hell. He couldn't tell us how to get laid. Yes, the graveyard. Oh yes, there is something that can help you in the doorless room. That is the room that only apprentice that has what it takes to enter. Only an apprentice has what it takes. First thought there is the medallion. But where would I invoke the medallion? The mirror. Mirror was the dragon room, right?
You would know better than I.
Yeah, that's the mirror. Every few moments, hazy letters flash across the surface of the mirror. Proceed. If I invoke the medallion the same way as I did any door in this district, you touch the amulet to the mirror, and the surface ripples like it is liquid. You push your arm and then the rest of your body into the mirror. The sensation might be similar to stepping into a vertical pool of mercury. Oh, okay. Once through, you find yourself in a doorless room.
Yeah, you sure are.
You browse through a few of the books and eventually find the charm that you need to ward off ghosts. You recite the phrases of the charm, and the second you finish, you feel a tingling sensation down your spine. With that done, you quickly pass back through the portal from which you entered.
Easy
I
peasy
think
lemon squeeze.
unfortunately you might have done it wrong, and now you invite ghosts directly into your asshole.
Wait, no, I want more stuff. I want more stuff. You browse through the
Yeah,
books and find nothing but a few trivial charms and enchantments.
Is that the tingling sensation?
I thought that was the neuropathy. Yeah, I guess not.
Neuropathy don't typically start your spine.
No, famously not.
Alright. Okay, so now that we have that charm...
I will be right back.
Okay. Can we get in? Wait a second. This looks flimsy. Compared to the rest of the brush here. You see that?
I guess.
Like, you see where this part of the shrubbery is thinner? As
Yeah.
opposed to all this and all that?
Yeah, that does look pretty deliberate.
It is obvious that there is an open space just a few yards into these thorns. It is impossible to push your way through without severely injuring yourself. Can I use the
We have
Can I use the
armor.
spear? No. Can I use the whip? I decided to hang on to a whip in case I needed something resembling a rope. That was kind of a late thought decision while I was regrinding. So the graveyard. Should be able to just pass through, right? Again, the ghosts rise from the ground, but do not attack. They circle closely, shrieking with anger.
Ah!
Cool, we're in. Olaf Olkind, 323. Angus Jenkin, 471. Bogmog, 423. Lord Caladam, 422.
Are any of these numbers significant?
I'm not sure. Tubby
Like that 3-digit... That was just for the one chest, right?
Yeah, I haven't seen anything else that needs that. Tubby Periwinkle, 378. Lady Caladam, 422. Telmar the Beggar, 490. Grun the Mighty, 356. Celebar the Merchant, 364. Ethel Mudd, 327. Mardis Elkin, 286. Bolaf Bartswider, 322. Jace Beck, 390. Sora Ariad, something like that, 423. Rena the Sorceress, 459. And Eric Mangriff, 320.
Okay.
Got all that?
Yeah, right.
Let's see what's over here before we start thinking about something. An elderly man rushes out from the house.
You're here.
Ah! Oh, you idiots. He chirps as he shakes your hand.
I've lost it again. I have been tracking your progress, and you have indeed done well so far, but you were up against something very powerful. I know little about this murder, but that I do know. As for the students, of which I was one long ago, I also know little, but I shall tell you things now that you might not have heard. Errol was to be granted his robe of wizardry last month, but Baswick felt he was not ready. A heated argument followed, with Baswick finally threatening to expel Errol. Then the school received a note from a nearby island which was a request for help, and Errol demanded that the situation be investigated. The matter ended when Jorah, Alicia, and Errol were outvoted and no investigation resulted. Rawls was in jail for 4 years for theft before he came here. I hope this information will be of some help. I also must tell you that I found something quite interesting in Errol's house the day after he was killed. I put it in a box which is hidden in the thorns. Beware of the Pegasus which lives there.
Okay, there's a few things to think about here. My running theory, again, is that Jorah is a vampire.
Right.
But does he have anything to do... Is he the one behind the disappearances? Or him and
I
his
will
kind?
not stand for this slander against my kind.
If he is, why would he be... Oh, to establish his cover story. I was just thinking, why would he align himself with those who are trying to save the... or answer the distress call?
You think that island is infested with vampires and he's one of them?
Yes. And I think him joining the people who want to help the distress call is his counter motive.
Interesting.
And something
Can
interesting
I fuck off to the violent of vampires?
something
Wouldn't
like
that be nice?
Something quite interesting in Errol's house the day after he was killed. That would
Although these
explain-
vampires are colonizers.
Yeah.
So that's not cool.
That would also explain why the thief Rald was rummaging around in Errol's house after his death. He must have been looking for this very thing or something valuable. And he did pocket something. But what? If the magic enhancing item is in the thorns, what would Rald have pocketed? Like, what valuable did he find? And is he any part of this? That feels all wrong to me. But let's move on.
He could have owned more than one valuable thing.
Possible. Line,
Good luck on your quest.
says the old man. Okay.
Good luck on your quest.
Yep. Is this another outhouse? A typical outhouse.
Okay, bye!
Except for the long wood box nailed to the wall above the seat. Oh. What does a gravedigger need?
He keeps a shovel in his outhouse?
I mean, if he's the crypt keeper, so to speak, then would it make sense that he's got the shovel to bury people?
Right. That's not what I was questioning. It was the outhouse part of it that I was questioning.
Oh.
I would try to keep nothing in my outhouse if I could avoid it.
Yeah. Alright. One of these graves must be important.
Oh, Christ.
Just before you take your first shovel full of dirt, you calm your silly urge to dig a hole. Okay, so that's not right.
Was one of them 182?
No. The lowest number was this one. Martis Elkin.
What year? Oh, that's right. They wanted, like, the oldest grave.
Yeah, that's right. They did. Ha! You dig for hours and finally reach the coffin. Slowly you slide off the cover. There, in the hands of a very unhuman-like skeleton, is a crumpled sheet of paper. You reach for it, and just as you are packing it away, the skeleton sits up and attacks.
Unhuman-like.
Okay, fucker. Come on.
The proportions on that bone golem are very funny.
Well, that was easy enough. 3 fireballs and it's over. 800 points. There's the document.
You got that fucking back arch going, too.
It's a lot easier when you don't have any
That bone
organs.
True.
Yeah, that bone going throwing it fucking back.
So what have we here? The most notable thing I see here is a big red X.
What on earth are these symbols? Is this the town?
Well, there's a cross in the northeast, and we're standing in the graveyard in the northeast. That would lead me to believe that this is a Greyhaven map. And the 2 parallel lines a little further south, that's the typical sign for a bridge. And there is a bridge to almost the direct south of this place.
So this would be the cross, that's the bridge.
So, these walls then. I'm sure this is a pixel hunt.
Do you have to have the shovel?
Whoops. Oh, the shovel got replaced by the map.
Oh, well, I guess that makes sense.
Aha! You discover a hollow-sounding patch of grass. Searching about, you find a small handle. Pulling this, a section of grass lifts up, revealing a dark hole. Giggity. Yeah, we're going down. And so we did. And, okay. So we can leave the same way. East looks pretty narrow. Let's go there first. The rocky tunnel becomes a little more dry, giggity, and extremely narrow. Up ahead, it appears to get even more narrow. You like a dry, narrow hole, D?
I should reward you, but the sudden
No.
extremely dry diggity just kind of...
For the last few feet, you have been forced to crawl on your hands and knees. Giggity. The walls have closed in so much that your elbows are cut from scraping against the walls, and now it appears that you cannot go any further. You can see through the narrowing gap into a chamber only a dozen yards ahead. Alright, so we're going to have to get there another way. Let us proceed southward. We adventure gamers love dead ends.
Yeah, we do, because that's one less thing you have to think about.
Dead ends have dry holes, though. It's the alive ends you really want. The ones that move. Undulate, even. Tell me to shut up anytime.
Really? That's been an option?
I will keep going.
Oh.
It's an option to tell him that. Whether he listens is a different question.
I understand.
What are these two fancy red dots? Before you is a massive iron gate. It has been lowered through what appears to be a number of pulleys, of which the rope is missing. Oh my god. You try to lift the gate yourself, but fail. Perhaps you might be able to open it if you had a rope or something similar. I am a goddamn genius.
For sure.
Alright, let's get close enough to use it. And right, 1, 2, 3, there. You tie the end of the heavy whip to the top of the portcullis and run it through the pulley system. I am so glad I went back. There's just enough whip left for you to grab onto. You pull with all your weight and slowly the gate rises. Once it is high enough, you manage to tie your end of the whip to the bottom of the gate. You are now able to pass through. An ancient iron portcullis has been raised here. The human footprints, which can be seen as mud prints on the rock, go straight into the next room. I feel like we're about to get into something here. And I'd probably better restore my magic first. Oh. Absolute silence fills your ears as you drop from the last rung of the rotting ladder. You have climbed into a dark cavern which appears to have been naturally created. Water drips from small pores in the rock, creating a thick, pasty red mud which now clings to your boots. A phosphorescent moss grows in random patches across the rock ceiling and walls, giving a very dim light to see by.
So this was where the red mud had been on Errol's robes, the dead guy.
Yes.
Would the black mud have been from grave digging?
That's possible. Almost there. Good. Sorry, say that again? The mud thins here. A few feet ahead, you see that rock takes the place of the mud. Okay. Oh boy. Just as you enter this large chamber, you notice a figure off to your left racing towards you. In the dim light, you can't make out the person's features. A moment passes, and then the figure strides a few paces north along the wall, and then disappears. Disappears. You have entered a huge chamber. The air and floor is much drier here. The human footprints lead straight east, but fade as they approach the middle of the room. The silence in the room is broken by a faint scraping. You have difficulties pinpointing the direction of the sounds.
Right.
Clockwise, counterclockwise.
Clockwise.
Okay. There's no way in there, I guess. Okay, well, there's the other side of the narrow passage we couldn't squeeze before. Whoops, see that again? The room narrows here, forming a wide rocky tunnel which curves off to the left into darkness. Inch-deep scratch marks scar many sections along the wall, and many bits of bone litter the floor. So death has happened here. An inch deep. No way any common rat could make a gash that deep into anything. Your eyes are drawn to the huge dragon which sleeps peacefully on the floor at the center of the room. It does not appear to have noticed that you have entered its lair. Yee. I'm gonna kick some dragon ass. I'm gonna kick some dragon ass.
Hooray.
There's a small hole in the wall here, too small to crawl into. Through the hole, you see a widening passage. You stand on the worthless pile of junk which the dragon has collected over the decades. You... What kind of fucking dumbass are you?
And prod the silly dragon.
I would not have done
finally
this.
get his attention.
He wakes and seems entirely disturbed at being awake. He glares at you and decides to dispose of the human who so rudely prodded him.
You're kidding. You don't say.
An ancient blue dragon. Well,
Uh-oh.
You fucking poked him like a cat wanting dinner.
wanting to be dinner, more like. All
Wake
right.
up, wake up, wake up.
All right, option A. Let's toast him. 2 hits. 3 hits. I wish I had just one more point. I'll have to settle for a missile, which hits. Cool. Now let's kick his ass. If I have to use nuclear option A, I will. He's not hitting us with flame with our speed that high.
We're getting a lot of absorb.
Punctures a vital organ.
Well, okay, we were getting a lot of absorb.
Okay, nuclear option. Actually, it'd probably be better if I use it earlier in a fight. No. Let's restart the fight if we have to. Oh, he actually hit us with the fire.
Goodbye.
Alright, well, let's try it again. Let's slow him first. And then 3 fireballs. We missed one. I may not have a choice but to use it. And hope to find another one later. If my HP gets low enough, I will. I did not judge that as low enough. Save right there.
Unspeakable. Unspeakable.
Yep, now it's time. The Orb of Consuming. The orb passes through the creature, leaving a gaping hole. Got him.
God damn. Yeah, that would do it.
So is that what the orb just does? It just kills whatever?
Extreme damage. There have been a couple instances where it did not make the kill. 3,200 points. Not enough to level up. Well, once again, the first thing I have to do is reload. Boopity boopity. Somewhere without flavor text. There we go. We're at 30 now. 40. 50. 60. 70. 80. 90. Cast 9. And paste to fill. I see something that looks like a chest in that southeast cavern. In case there's something in or near there, I need to be at full power. What I'm really looking for here is stronger weapon, stronger armor, another orb, and another ivory horn. That's what I want to find. Let's check here first. Nothing. Now, about you. A huge iron-bound trunk. More money. Ooh, more strength potion. Restoring...
Oh, this is all great.
Full plate armor. Hell yeah. Restoring salve is a good healing nuclear option. Strength potion is always great. The silver coins.
You should just do the Dwarf Fortress thing. Since you're accusing everyone being vampires, just walk around, just toss silver coins at their head.
Yeah. I know one place I can go.
Prison?
Well, two places. But first, spear, full plate. That'll be super helpful. Let's lose the scale mail. Let's drink the strength potion. Strength heroic. Before we proceed further through this cave, actually, let's get this little spot over here first. And then we'll save further into the southeast for after I do things with my money. The next thing I'm about to do will definitively answer whether I'm right or not about what's going on here. And it involves the shop that previously we could not actually buy anything from. The steel shop. Special request items. How do you deal with a vampire?
Garlic crosses. Some people have wooden stakes.
Fire.
Well, you might as well take both a stake and a cross, as we usually sell them as a pair. Ha ha! It's a fucking vampire.
I can't stand you.
Okay.
Can I cancel him for being vampire racist?
No.
Is it racism if it's right? And this kind of reminds me of how I pulled off Obra Dinn. Sad in a way.
Now that
but
was a little racist.
It was right. What do you want? And the pointy-eared bastard in chat who kept chirping about it.
Why am I here?
Why are you
I'm
here?
being targeted.
I'm actually quite happy with the full plate armor. I kind of want another weapon. But should
I'm
it
gonna be
be...
real. I figured vampires might be a factor here anyway, just because the guy started with a whip. And I'm like, oh, this is just knockoff Castlevania.
Did he start with a whip?
Yes, he did, and you know what? I never fucking thought of that. This came out 3 years after the first Castlevania. I never fucking realized that. Do we want a long sword or a broadsword? Either one is bound to be stronger than the spear.
Long, I guess. I'm a fan of range.
Hmm? Do you have a vote,
Yeah,
Dee?
I don't know how to really answer this because it doesn't give us stats.
Yeah, I know. I guess they're just basing
So
it
I
off
would go with reach over chopping power.
reach. Yeah, we do have heroic strength, don't we?
Strength.
Yeah, no one can match my strength. My superhuman strength. Alright, so the cross and stake are an equipable weapon, but I would rather use them as an item should the time come. Oh yes, I am holding a long sword. Thank you. That is a really good character sheet.
Long sword.
Alright, let's get back to the cave. Cave was somewhere in this vicinity. Ha! And we took care of east. More to the point, we took care of everything before the portcullis. We took care of everything... Well, let me check the center of the room. Of course the mud would fade out at some point. Can I find that point? Human footprints lead straight east, but fade as they approach the center of the room. I don't suppose you wish to tell me anything more about that? It would appear you don't. Alright then, we continue southeast. The rocky ceiling of this wide passage is only a few feet above your head. You hear sounds coming from the south. More combat opportunities. We like combat around here. Mostly because combat is the only way I'm going to get to level 15 now. Alright, so there's a couple interesting looking things to the east. I want to know, before I check them... Whoops, flavor text. This small, perfectly cut hole in the rock wall leads into another set of natural caverns. The air is very cold, and oddly there is the smell of freshly turned soil in the air. I wonder actually if the black soil is over there, but perfectly cut hole. I'm going to reconsider my course of action and go this way. Water drips from the low ceiling here. Scattered about the room and lying in puddles of water are sheets of paper. Reading what? There are a few pieces of parchment here. It seems that they have been ripped from a book. You pick one up and discover that it is information about the undead. Ghosts, ghouls, vampires, wraiths, and zombies, just to name a few. The other sheets cover the same sort of material. An old man stumbles into the room. He coughs a few times, holds out his hand, and introduces himself as Kelgi. You shrug and step forward to shake his hand. The frail figure then runs his hand behind his right ear and lunges forward to strike at you.
Psych.
You face a Kelgi. Mock me, will you? Well, here, fuck you, boy. The man turns and his foot races at you. So the guy's a martial artist.
Hmm.
All
Oh,
right.
you died of it.
That obviously requires a new plan. And I think I know what I need to do now. Instead of shooting fire at him, I'm going to use my magic defensively. Am I depending entirely on luck here? He's got to die. That's just the fact of the matter. What if I use the stake or the cross? No good.
He does not seem to be the vampire.
No. Alright. He keeps hitting me hard. A lot harder than an old man should be hitting. Alright. I don't want to use that salve unless I absolutely must. But it's beginning to look like I absolutely must. Well, so be it. Oh, it's not a full heal. Oh yeah, it is, because he did the unspeakable hit. Holy Jesus Christ. What about the kill spell?
Kill.
Kelgi. The man grabs his chest and falls to the ground. Only 940?
Well?
Wow.
He must have been otherwise invincible.
Perfect spell for me.
Huh. Okay then. Next time, don't give me information. Alright. Let's heal and then I'll read the papers. Or at least attempt to.
What are you doing?
Regaining MP.
Oh.
The blue gauge down below the red one is the magic points. I used a lot of it on that kill spell, so... Alright. Let's try that again. Alright, so we gain nothing else afterward. The ceiling drops lower here to only 4 or 5 feet. In the darkness at the end of this tunnel, you can make out a pool of water. It appears that the tunnels once continued on at a steep grade, but now water has filled that section of the caverns. I don't suppose there's any way to... I don't suppose there's any way to swim that then. Oh. Okay. Save first. I will let you guys decide. Do we make the wade first, or do we go through the intentionally cut cavern?
I guess Wade.
You like water, D?
No, so do that. We'll do what she said.
Alright. Oh, also lose the spear. In case I need the room later.
I really don't care for swimming.
Oh, there's stuff in here. Spellcasting dust, restoring salve, restoring salve. Good. Okay, so it's just an item repository now. And those are some good-looking heal items. I'm going to want to use one of them up, though. See if I have occasion to do so here. Let's do this one first. Zilch. This looks fairly promising, what with the black vines reaching out. A hole 6 inches across has been dug in the west wall. A small fiery ball whizzes over your head and then darts out of the room. A moment later, it enters again and speeds straight towards you. Another one of these, eh? Alright, let's go. Let's try fire first. Two out of 3 ain't bad. Got him. 2010. We are still at level 14. I'm going to use one of the salves. That way I have some kind of room to pick stuff up. Alright. And continuing to the northwest. You pull out your cross and hold it close to you. The dark creature in the room now shies away from you. Now that you have a moment, you see that they very well could be the missing villagers. So if I'd come here without the stake and cross, I would have gotten something else. Oh well. Small holes riddle the south wall. A sudden cold washes over you. You turn to see what caused it and find a horrid skeletal figure a few yards behind you. It grins, the bones of its face twisting into a grim smile. Slowly it steps forward to begin battle.
Ah, yes, the throw it back, skilly man again.
I'm going to end up getting killed here.
Can you run?
I could, but why do that when there's something I didn't do? See, my magic still isn't reloaded.
Oh.
That's the first thing I need to do, is give myself the ability to cast. Actually, you know what? Let me check out those thorns. I wonder if my stake can do anything with them. Can I use the longsword? The weapon seems to be heavy enough to chop away the vines. After a few minutes of hacking, you manage to get through. Looking back, you discover to your amazement that the vines have already grown back to block your exit.
Oh. Well, okay.
I'm going to save over file 2 instead. Oh, not that it matters, because I can just use the longsword again. the small jade box sitting on the ground. Just as you lift the lid of the box, a Pegasus soars down from the sky and attacks.
We were warned of this.
Yes, we were.
Wait, were we?
Yes.
Yep. Bit of an afterthought at the end of like, the thing is in the bushes. Beware of the Pegasus that lives there.
Well, a flying horse is still a horse, and therefore we can turn it into glue.
I didn't see the number of experience points. Whatever, I can math it out. Alright, we'll get the journal in a couple minutes here. Let's first use one of those salves.
A journal, you say?
Yeah. You know what?
But those orbs are so good.
I'm going to use up another salve. I think we'll be fine
It
with a
craves
salve.
orbs.
I think we'll be fine with a salve, a spellcasting dust, and all the magic spells. That journal. You open the stained and muddy book. Inside the cover, it indicates that the author of this journal was Errol, the victim. Most of the book is what Errol was studying, what he was supposed to study, meetings, thoughts on people, and ideas. Generally uninteresting, personal information, all dated. You skim through years of entries and then come across the last few, which are quite different from the others. From 2 weeks back, there is an entry which reads,
I am concerned about the missing villagers. We'll investigate.
another dating back a week.
I found them. Not yet beyond help. Map on the next page.
The map is not there. Of course not, because we have it. The last entry,
He knows I am onto him. He will not do anything to expose himself. It is one of R, or T. Never allow myself to be alone with any of them.
RRT, which would
Rolled.
suggest Rolled, Renwick, and Thevin.
Sure.
Funny he doesn't mention a particular J.
Jorah.
Yeah.
Haha, bitch. You can at least get a single thing wrong.
I mean, it's happened. I'm not perfect at this. Alright, we're back through. We have us a lot of help. So we took out that Pegasus. Now, after I regain all of my spell power via natural means, because I'm not burning spellcasting dust just to do that, we take out a skeleton.
We have spell power at home.
Yep. Yeah, the spellcasting dust is a nuclear option only.
Mom says we have spellcasting stuff at home. Spellcasting stuff at home is just fentanyl.
Oh, no.
That's a commentary right there. Okay. We gotta be near the end of this. That diamond right there, I bet you is the focal point.
Do we? Do we gotta?
I suspect. I mean, we're in the vampire's cave. What else do we want? Where?
Damn. This
where's-
fucking vampire is just bitch made. He doesn't even got a proper castle.
Actually, hold on. The Pegasus was not worth all that many points. Less than 1,000. This guy.
Did we at least loot glue from it?
I don't know if that was the best thing to say in current company.
I not make that joke earlier?
You did.
Still, apologies to Wit.
Yeah, whatever.
It says levels are drained from you, but doesn't seem to indicate during the fight. And then I'm still level 14, even after that boost. I'm down enough points. Cast 9. Oh, I gotta reload first. See, late game adventuring is a lot of this. I know my present company knows that.
Walking back and forth.
Well-
Working it while you recharge.
Well, I mean, if there's a mechanic that dictates that that's what you do, yes, absolutely. 60. 80. 90. If you can avoid it, you don't waltz into a fight at less than full power. It's just a bad idea.
I mean,
among other things.
I get it, because this game ain't fucking around with each of these fights.
Yeah, especially not the later ones. Oh, the trouble that I was having with the bridge troll earlier on. He's Sunday school compared to this now. Alright, here we go. What is beyond yonder black diamond? Or what is at yonder black diamond, even? At the far end of this room is a huge quartz rock balanced on a small brass stand.
Aim it for it's a lich, and that's their phylactery.
You begin to inspect the rock, and the moment you touch it, it flashes. It takes a moment for your eyes to clear, and when they do, you find yourself in a different room.
Well,
Now, we may be stuck here.
Fiddlefucks.
This room is very cold and dark. The wall rise up to meet the arched ceiling nearly 30 feet up into the dark. On either side of the room are thin black and blood-red marble pillars. A small mosaic path passes under the arch at the end of the room into another chamber. Yeah, there is no way out of here. Well, are we ready?
we better be.
Because this sure smells like endgame to me.
We're
This
gonna
small...
solve a murder! I'm
This-
committing a murder!
Yay! This small chamber is occupied solely by a huge, ornately carved coffin. The coffin sits upon a small mound of dirt and is currently closed.
I can't believe you.
Alright, obviously he's inside it. So what is...
Which part are you annoyed about? Are you annoyed that he's right? That he
Yes.
called us?
The huge rock formations rise
I'm also
far
annoyed
into
at the
darkness
game for
above.
being that transparent. Because when he said, like, does that catch your eye? I'm like, yeah, it's the basics of a vampire, but I can't, hear hoofbeats and assume a zebra. Except that you can, and he can, and he did, and he was right, it was a zebra.
Zebras don't suck blood. And they're out during the day.
Zebra meat.
There is a huge black coffin here. You slowly push of the lid and look inside. There is nothing but dirt there. Then, from behind you, you hear the rustle of a cloak. You turn to see one of the apprentices, his staff blazing before him, and his face hidden in the folds of his robe.
Now you will pay for your meddling.
He says quietly. He bares his fangs and steps forward to attack. Alright, so let's have a little fun with this. We still have half an hour. Let's just try and beat him up. See what happens. Massive wounds, solid blows, minor wounds. Severe damage. Grazes.
I imagine getting kicked so hard you bleed.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem pleasant.
Because it's basically like ripping your skin open.
Alright.
It's like kicking so hard it causes it to rupture or something.
Route B. Let's fight him using all of my healing powers. Several of your internal organs are destroyed.
I was using those.
Yeah.
I mean, so was Wits, and she's still here, so big deal.
Well, I only lost one. And it's not like it was, well...
To be fair, it was destroying you, so...
Alright, we're gonna use the orb now. The orb passes through the creature, leaving a gaping hole. Yeah, there you go. It's still alive.
You see unspeakable damage.
Alright. Now the salve. Now the spellcasting dust. Alright, and let's keep swinging and swinging and swinging. I'm just curious if it's going to force you to use the kill spell, which is a pretty good touch, honestly.
I feel like we're ignoring the elephant, which is your cross and stake.
Well, right now I'm just seeing if there's a way to beat him like normal, or if they really did make him... Oh, wow. It is possible to kill him, Nat. Well, that's no fun, so we're going to spin back and do it the, I would assume, intended way.
You first special beam cannoned him, and then you beat the shit out of him.
True. So he's worth 3,100 points, which is pretty much meaningless at this point. Finally, the battle is over. You draw out the stake and perform the grisly job of finishing off the vampire. You rise to your feet and make your way back to the surface, and then to find Baswick to tell him the news. You find Baswick in the inn and explain all that has passed. He congratulates you, pays you, and tells you not to mention any of this to anybody.
We wouldn't want the villagers to get upset,
He says. With that, you walk for the last time down the streets of Greyhaven, knowing soon that it will become the peaceful town you once knew it to be.
Hooray!
The end.
Because we killed everyone else.
Now, the proper way to do it.
I assume that he has XP for like people who like keeping scores from this or something.
Oh, probably. So the kill spell. Jorah screams, clutches his chest, and then falls to his knees. Weakly, he gets back up.
Wait a minute. How did Jorah get here?
The killer is Jorah. The description said one of the apprentices. So yes, Jorah...
Yeah, so his journal was wrong?
Well, they skipped... The 4 people who were in the study group with Errol are Rald, Renwick, Thevan, and Jorah. The journal only mentions RRT. No J.
So he was wrong.
Yep. And that's our clue. Who's left?
No, he said it's either of these 3. I can't be alone with them. So he was wrong. It was the one he didn't suspect.
That's what I'm saying, is if we notice the fact that that one member of his study group was missing out of that bunch, and we run with that. I mean, I had already figured Jorah was the murderer and the vampire among the apprentices anyway, but that was just one more drop of icing. Weakly, he gets back up to his feet. The look of confidence that he had is now gone. It appears you might now have a chance. Well, joke's on you, because, I mean, I kind of just did that.
So I want to know what the hell that did to him. Did it like have his health points or what?
I'm not sure because because my theory was that it wasn't actually possible to beat him naturally, and yet I did. So
Okay,
now
well
I'm
you
not
hit
so
him
sure.
and hit him with the orb
Hit him with
and
the
see if
orb.
that kills him.
Okay.
Hit him with the orb.
No.
Oh.
I'm going to use the kill spell a second time. So spellcasting dust
Do that.
to get me back enough to do so. The spell fails. Apparently you can't do it twice. Can I use the stake and cross? No. Use salve. How much easier is it to kill him now, having done that spell? Apparently not easier enough. So I went hard mode on him out of spite and won that way and couldn't beat him off of a kill spell and an orb of consuming. That's fucking crazy.
I mean, RNG is RNG, but yeah, that doesn't feel right.
So, we've done it.
Dinor. Chicken dinor.
So, you're mad, Wit.
I'll get over it. I just can't believe you're right all of the time.
When you've been doing a particular thing for as many years as I've been doing it,
I
and
know.
as frequently and consistently as I do it, I don't know what else to say. I get it.
I had the same problem with him because I kind of called some of the beats on the vampire game when I was playing with Marley, like way before they actually got answered.
Yeah. Well, that is Legends of Murder 2. I guess that leaves just one question. Now what? What do we do next week? Who do we stream with? Who does what?
I don't know. There's the visual novel that you seemed into, where we learned magic. There's that horse game I bought that promises to have a very small amount of plot in it. Were we in the middle of anything else?
Well, we cleared Potionomics.
Sure did.
We cleared Pets Horses too.
Long ago.
Yeah. But the fact
Despite me having entirely hallucinated a scene, as far as I can tell.
But the fact is we cleared it.
Right.
I'm thinking about doing Trombone Champ with somebody. Maybe us. Maybe
I would watch at
somebody
least
else.
one stream of that. I would love to see you play that.
Yeah. I'd be happy.
I think it'll make you mad. Because
no,
you're gonna
no matter than having witnessed it through your eyes could make me.
Yeah, but like you're gonna have the instinct of like, oh, I jump up the partial here, so instead of just continuing up the slide, I actually go back down to fifth or whatever, and it's not gonna do that. It's just fully a slide. It's more a slide whistle than a trombone.
I'm willing to test that theory here with you guys.
I think you're gonna catch yourself trying to go down to fifth as you keep going up a scale.
Very likely. But you know what? I'm willing to take that chance just for you.
I would definitely watch one stream of that.
Okay. Cool. I guess I should get it installed then and have it ready for next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
Cool. Then that's what you idiot fuckers out there have to look forward to. So
now, are they idiots and fuckers, or are they people who fuck idiots?
They're both. They're idiots, they're fuckers, and they're idiot fuckers.
Ah.
Think monster fuckers. Both and either.
Hmm.
So yeah,
I
I'm
suppose
Alpha.
that makes sense. I've been wet.
And until
I'm
next time.
something.
And until next
Yeah.
time,
You need to shut the fuck up.
may you reach the moon.
Okay, bye!
Good night.
That is not a bad sign off, actually.